so excited to be with you all today. What brings this community together is a shared passion for small and medium-sized business, making their life easier, making their life better. And we're just beyond excited to be here to serve all of you. But I also get asked a lot these days about AI. First off, I really do believe we are at the early stages of the next big tech supercycle. And one thing that I keep in mind when I think about these tech supercycles is there is a huge pitfall to overhype, and there's also a pitfall to underestimate the impact of these cycles. Our job at Gusto, to be clear, is to bring any and all great technology to bear to make people's lives easier. And so we're excited to be an agent to bring some of these different tools to small businesses. Now, there's a bunch of good tailwinds for small business. There's also a lot of headwinds. Inflation, there's headwinds around interest rate, access to capital, access to talent. And within the accounting and bookkeeping profession, we realize there are staffing shortages and challenges around folks entering the field. On the flip side, there has never been better technology being brought to these industries to give you the chance, to give you superpowers so you can actually provide more value to your clients and also serve more clients. Gusto Next is really more of a spotlight moment. Every day that we make progress to make your life easier is how we measure our success. To bring us home here, really, really hopeful that not just content, learning, but also community connection, you have a chance to meet folks you haven't met before or see folks that you know pretty well and just have a chance to spend more time with them. Each of you are really, really critical to enabling the small business economy, and we're honored to serve you. So thank you so much for coming.
It's awesome to be here. The environment, the culture of what's going on with this company is so aligned with what we want to do.
I love coming here. I love this building. I love Gusto.
Love the energy. It's always a good time hanging out in San Francisco, and spending it with Gusto, can't complain.
The core of what we want to try to accomplish over the next 3 years is transforming what we've built as a people platform to be more of an entrepreneurship platform. And what that means is helping small businesses and entrepreneurs be successful, have an unfair advantage in order to ultimately foster success as entrepreneurs. We're still going to help with building great teams. That's the nucleus of Gusto. But there are other critical needs that small businesses have as they're going through the journey that we're also going to try to fulfill, and I'll walk you through that. So if you break down sort of what this means, kind of what is this entrepreneurship platform, it's 3 core tenets, which are at the top of this slide. We're really expanding and doubling down on a lot of our product portfolio. So we're going to do a lot on building strong teams in the realm of HR, helping people get support in a way they haven't before on being able to do HR foundational work, employee compliance, and a lot of things necessary in order to manage teams more from an HR standpoint. In the second column here, you're going to see a lot today from me on compliance. We've heard it loud and clear that really helping keep small businesses compliant on the right side of the law in a world where there's lots of changing regulation and people are now working everywhere is a big pain point, and we think that's an area that we can really add value. Gusto Start is a collection of services that help people make this leap. People go from a side hustle to being entrepreneurs and ultimately being ready to welcome on accounting partners. Business insurance, we have workers' compensation today. We're going to do a heck of a lot more in business insurance to help people make sure they have the protection they need. And lastly, just to highlight Gusto Money in our effectively managed finance category. This is going to be a suite of offerings from banking, accounts payable, accounts receivable that complements payroll, I think gives entrepreneurs some unfair advantages that they're not going to be able to get from other providers and works cohesively with our ecosystem. So as accounting partners, you're able to work more on value-added services and advisory services on top of these things. And we really, really hope that this is value-add for you and value-add for small businesses. So thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
This is a whole new world coming out to San Francisco. I've been able to see some sites, make connections with many different firm owners.
The emphasis on people and community is so rich here.
Having the community available over these 3 days.
To learn and to grow and develop and lean into technology.
The chance to connect with all these forward-thinking firm owners is invaluable, I'd say.
Everybody here is so welcoming and kind and wants to actually get to know you.
I've actually just referred a client to somebody that I met here.
I think a lot of the energy that's here, you can't recreate on a Zoom.
Being with people is a good thing.
I'm here to talk to you today about how collaboration leads to better outcomes. 80% of small business owners spend about 5 hours per day on payroll-related tasks. 33% of US employers end up making payroll errors. Slow payroll leads to delayed payments to employees. That impacts, in my opinion, the most important metric of all, which is employee morale. So what have we here at Gusto been up to in the last 1 year to help with some of this? We recently launched Payroll Spreadsheet. Oh, thank you. I hope you're all enjoying this as well. What this does now is that it integrates multiple data entry steps into one flow, allowing you to see the entire data picture in one go. This also reduces the total time to run payroll by about 35%. Another important release was expenses. We launched a whole new experience for expenses in Gusto. We launched email notifications for approvals. We launched a car mileage tool. And we also launched support for expenses in off-cycle payrolls. Collaboration is key to success. And we are launching a bunch of features in the coming months to ensure that how you work in real life is represented in Gusto workflows. So what are we doing? We are launching a new and improved payroll approval process, which will now allow the ability to have multiple admins and role assignments. Workflow will now resemble how you work in day-to-day life. But now that we have multiple admins, it will become more important to see who took an action on a certain item. For that, we are launching an advanced payroll and expense activity log. This will be an audit log for every action that was taken on any payroll item or expenses, helping you save time and also avoid those payroll errors. We are launching scheduling in the coming months, allowing for a deeper collaboration between employees and employers. Employers can now plan shifts based on business needs. Employees can see the hours they're supposed to work, request for changes, and also plan their lives better. Better collaboration leads to better outcomes. It means higher employee satisfaction, it means fewer errors, and it creates a positive work environment. We are working hard to make sure that the way you work is represented in Gusto workflows.
If there are 3 things that I would like you to take away from this presentation, let it be these. First, overall, the economy is in a very strong position, with a little bit of softness around the edges. Second, despite the difficulty of being a business owner in this uncertain environment, many more business owners are coming down the pipe. And increasingly, they will look very different from business owners of 3 or 4 or 10 years ago. They're shifting their strategies in this environment. They are going to be smaller for longer. They are going to be more reliant on contractors. They are going to be tech and digital native, and they are going to expect the integration of technology into their services. And increasingly, their need for advisory is increasing and changing. That all means that supporting your small business clients includes advising them right now to think about their long-term hiring plans, maybe holding off if they can, and figuring out how to get people lean to do more with less, helping them make investment plans and upgrading their technology to save on those costs and improve efficiency, and to plan to grow your own advisory services for compliance and also that fits the needs of those just starting smaller businesses. I look forward to seeing you all today, and enjoy next.
The demand for your services has never been higher. The global market value for accounting services is huge, and it's growing, with expectations that it will reach $736 billion by 2025. That is a huge number. Another trend is that today, almost half of firms have over 30% of their revenue coming from advisory, and they're planning on that being an even greater percentage in the future.
So clearly the demand is there, but as you all know, there are also some significant headwinds. The first one is resource scarcity. The number of accountants entering the profession, as you all know, at an all-time low, which means that you all need to do the same amount of work with less people. Coupled with resource scarcity is an accelerating pace of change across so many categories you all need to keep a pulse on. Regulatory changes, technology changes, managing a remote staff. And so net, it's just becoming increasingly harder to run and scale a sustainable accounting practice. Okay, so the first goal is really driving efficiency with an even more narrow lens around saving you time on low billable work in particular, so you can do more with the staff that you already have. The second is empowering advisory, which is all about helping you provide clients with high quality support and strategic guidance at scale so you can do also more of that high margin advisory work. We said, hey, can we actually use AI to help us handle some of these more complex spreadsheets? What you're gonna see here is AI is processing in the background to identify what type of spreadsheet it is, extract the right data, and try to automatically map it to our fields in Gusto. And as you can see here, it worked beautifully. So this is moving from beta to becoming generally available tomorrow. So that's very exciting.
75% of small businesses plan to increase international employee headcount. And either going to do it the right way or the wrong way, right? And I'm saying that from the accounting side, right? And the taxes and the IRS coming after them, and from the community side. There's two sides that they're really going to have to think about. I want to share something with you all. I'm going to start first with Gusto Global. Now, what I think is interesting, and we talked about this in the employee life cycle, when you onboard folks, it could be a contractor or it could be a full-time employee. And sometimes, right, you bring those contractors on and you eventually may want them to turn into full-time employees. Gusto Global can help you with that. So that's one of those things that you can remove as a barrier. So maybe it's like, I do want to expand, but I don't know how. It seems complicated. It seems confusing. So up here, what you see is the countries in which you can actually have full-time employees, and Gusto can help you do that through Gusto Global. There's over 120 where you can actually bring on contractors. We know that we're moving into a distributed world. Gusto Global is a suite of tools to help us hire more intentionally and more distributedly.
So I'm Steve Abbott, Head of Government Affairs and Public Policy at Gusto. We're really excited to be able to moderate this panel. And so we have Sarah Prevost, founder, Mitch's Labs.
They were like, so should I do this R&D thing that keeps popping up in my dashboard? I was like, well, yeah, why don't you give it a go?
Jeff Wilson, founder, GoviRates.
Small business owners that use accountants understand that accountants are essential to their growth.
And Ramona Cedeno, CEO of Fibric.
In most cases, tax agencies are friendly.
We all know here at Gusto, and you in your role as an accountant, a bookkeeper, or a fractional CFO, it's all about trust. That is our business, trust, bottom line. And when it comes to the service that we provide, that is probably a leading indicator on either long-term loyalty or that client searching for who the competition might be and ultimately leaving either their HCM provider or their accountant. And we know frustration, whether it's with your HCM provider or anywhere in a service offering. Anytime that there's multiple touch points needed, you get incorrect or partial information, that's all a distraction for your firm, and it leads to non-billable hours. Now, we know sometimes clients get a tax notice, and I'm sure we've all read these. They're not exactly friendly when a client gets that. It's quite terrifying, actually, and that's an experience we can work on. So I'm happy to share our payroll operations team has worked on bulk electronic delivery from the IRS. So what that means is now Gusto receives that tax notice 10 days before that's mailed to a client. Through technology and automation, we solve the issue that drove the tax notice. We get ahead of any SUI rates, withholdings, whatever is needed that drove. And then we can communicate to that client and let them know, hey, you're going to get a scary notice in the mail in a couple of days. Here's what we've already done to remedy what that issue is. and ensure that you don't get a future one, and get ahead of those penalties and interest. How does that sound? Over the last year, we've also introduced dedicated support for our gold firms. This is our newest service offering, which assigns a single point of contact for every gold firm for anything support related on the Gusto platform. And so every gold firm is now assigned a technical account manager. They affectionately call themselves TMsters. And what this really does is, in partnership with every gold firm, be able to have a deep understanding of what you need as a firm, how you like to work, how we can get ahead of proactive issues, and reduce overall where we need to provide support because we've got ahead of the issues ahead of time.
% of small and mid-sized businesses report having no or few qualified people for their open job recs. Employees also cite that they are 25% less likely to quit a job in their first year if that employer offers them benefits. And they're 40% less likely to do so if they're offered a 401k. So this is a collision of stuff happening. Employees are looking to their employers for more help. Everything around is getting more expensive for employers, but meanwhile, employers are trying to find the right people to grow their business, and all of this is changing in terms of complexity as far as legislation is concerned. So enter Gusto. This is what we have done, and this is one of the reasons I joined Gusto 10 years ago, was to do just this, to expand and enable access to quality health and financial benefits. Quality financial, health, and wellness benefits that are delivered through a seamlessly integrated platform with guidance and with compliance in mind. We understand that many SMBs expect their accounting firms to ensure their compliance, and we want to help you do that in an automated, proactive way. This is why we're building Gusto Pro to be the advisor for advisors, delivering data-driven opportunities for you and your clients. Next, guided in-app advisory when clients are shopping for health benefits. We want to be there for them. We are there for them with data-driven recommendations as to what they should do. What is the optimal package that is going to meet their needs, meet the standards and compliance requirements of all of these legislative bodies, and do so in a way that is also in line with their budget. Lastly, level-funded health plans. I talked about how we were leaning into scale in order to affect the cost of health insurance. So level-funded health plans have been shown to bring down the cost of health insurance by anywhere from 10 to 20% for eligible groups without compromising the quality or the accessibility of the coverage. It's amazing. When we're hearing about 43% increases, and now there's new ways to leverage scale, new ways to leverage data, and new ways to leverage expertise to bring down health insurance costs, to solve these problems like talent shortages, to solve these problems like access to healthcare. This is incredible. We are so excited about this. It's been in the works for several years, and we're finally ready for pilot. We could not be more excited to bring this to you and bring this to eligible clients.
I mean, there's some pretty amazing technology.
They're a step ahead. They've read a chapter ahead.
How it continues to grow, continues to get better, how much they care.
We really feel empowered knowing that Gusto has our back.
It's empowering. It's just an awesome network of individuals and companies, and we all have each other's back.
It feels electric to be here at Gusto Next.